All right, well, welcome everyone to a physics-themed session of Pathfinder Second Edition. My name is Brian Lane. I will be your host and game master for the evening. Would love to hear from our two players. Just a quick introduction. Who are you? What got you interested in playing tonight?
I guess I'll go first. I'm Todd Zimmerman, and I'm a professor at University of Wisconsin Stout. And I've done a lot of role-playing when I was younger, and I've been eyeing D20, and I just, physics, role-playing, put them together. It's kind of like, peanut butter and chocolate. It's great. So I'm kind of excited to give this a try. And I will be playing Izaret, who is a human investigator.
Excellent. The investigator class somewhat recently, within the last 6 months, was published. So I have not gotten to play with an investigator yet. So this will be exciting.
I'm Steve Meyer. I'm at Northwestern Oklahoma State University and teach science classes, general science, teacher prep, and then also engineering physics classes. And I had a little bit of experience playing Dungeons and Dragons when I was young, not very much though. And then tried to get something going with Brian a couple of years ago. There was a summer meeting and I was late. I walked in, they were already on the floor. I think it was during a poster session. I'm like, oh, I missed it. So anyway, I told myself if it happened again, the opportunity presented itself, I'd try everything I could to join in. And I'm looking forward to this. I am an Arctic elf sorcerer, goes by the name Astatine, because my father was an alchemist and he knew that I was a rare breed, that I was going to be a rare breed. And he said, Astatine, the most rare element on the surface of the earth. So that's how I got my name.
Excellent, excellent. And I should say I'm at the University of North Florida, and I mostly GM. I sometimes get to play, but I mostly GM. We are going to be doing what's called a one-shot tonight, meaning we have never met these characters before. We will probably never see them again after tonight. This is hopefully all nice and self-contained, and it should be a lot of fun. So why don't we get into our headspace here? So you, Astatine and Izaret, you have been hired by Fremington University to rescue their 7 physics professors. The entire department was abducted last week by a stone giant who lives in a nearby tower. Lots of strange noises and flashes of light have been coming from the tower over the last week, and the dean who hired you can only imagine what awful tasks this giant has conscripted the physics professors into. We already did our introduction, so I will skip that line. You see in front of you the tower that you are about to enter. So that is where you are now. But I want to give you a chance to retroactively ask any questions that your characters might have asked of the dean who is sending you on this rescue mission.
So do we know what these professors were working on?
They were not working on anything in particular. Apparently, it's kind of a weird thing. Apparently, the stone giant who lives in this tower invited a couple of them to his tower, and then he invited a couple more, then he invited a couple more. Next thing they knew, the entire department was there, and now he's not letting them go.
It's all from the same institution?
It's all from the same institution. Basically, it's the closest university to the tower.
Okay, so and how long have they been there? Was it 7 days? Is that what you said?
7 days, yes. So the first ones might have gotten invited like 9 days ago or something, and he invited them kind of in waves. But yeah, so they have all been missing for 7 days.
Are they experimentalists or
they
computational?
They seem to be a mix. So pick whatever your ideal composition is in a department, and that's the ratio that they have among those 7. So probably, what would that probably be? There would probably be like 3 experimentalists, 2 theorists, and 2 computationalists, probably.
Yeah, it was, worst case scenario. I mean, think of all the evil that could be done with 7 physics education researchers. I mean, so, this is...
Oh, excuse me, yeah, so we should probably make it 2, 2, and 2, and then 1 physics education researcher. There
so
we go.
it's a pretty good group. I mean...
It's a well-rounded department. They are well-published. They are well-respected. They probably went willingly, and now the stone giant is just not letting them go.
Do we know anything about this stone giant? Like before, I mean, did this stone giant, has it always been there, or did it move into the area?
He's been in the tower for a while. He's never really caused any trouble. He usually just associates with the other stone giants who live nearby in the area. This is kind of the first time he's made trouble in the area.
I don't know what other questions. So do we need to bring them information? So if we go and we're not able to bring them out right away, I mean, what? I guess
is there like a code signal you can send them or something?
Yeah, I mean, do you have a message for them in case we can't, in case we have to?
Well, I mean, classes are classes are underway, so or getting started soon. So we kind of need them, back to the university. If there is something big going on, that does demand their attention, the university would certainly understand.
Okay.
But it's kind of one of the things where they have sent word to the stone giant saying, "Will you please send our people back?" And he has flatly refused.
So we're supposed to go there and let them know. If we can't bring them back, we're supposed to let them know that we need to know their office hour schedule and their syllabi are due soon.
Yes. You need to arrange for appropriate substitutes. And I should say, in preparation for this mission, you've each taken a crash course in physics. You've studied up on the textbooks. There's been a couple of TAs back in the university that helped you. So you each get another skill. Right, so on your character sheet, you have all these skills on the lower right-hand quadrant. You each get an additional skill called physics lore. Physics lore, yeah. The lore skill is basically the subset of skills. There's basically a countably infinite number of them, where any topic that you can come up with has a lore skill. And so it's basically represents your specialized knowledge. Your physics lore modifier for each of you is +10. It does not factor in your intelligence modifier the way a lore skill usually does, because we all know that learning physics is not a matter of being inherently intelligent, but about how much effort you put in. So there you go. You each have a +10 to physics lore. Just in case that comes up to be relevant, you need to recognize something physically along the way.
Okay.
What's the technology level of this world, or is this kind of medieval, modern, somewhere in the middle?
It is something short of steampunkish, let's say. So there are clockwork creatures in this world. People have some rudimentary understanding of things like electricity and magnetism, although whether they treat it through physics or science or alchemy or not science, excuse me, physics or magic or alchemy or something else, that varies.
Okay.
All right. So and how do we know each other, or have we just been randomly assembled, or?
In my mind, you probably answered a summons from the university. If you want to say you know each other and you went in to take the job together, that's fine too.
All right. So yeah, we know each other for.
Okay.
It's been like 3-4 years, and we've worked on a couple committees together. We've solved some
gone to conferences
on a task force. So yeah, we're ready to roll. We're pumped.
Good. So we don't have to role play
yet. We haven't published together yet, but working on it.
You're hoping this will be your first publication. Good.
That's right. Yeah.
So we don't have to role play you meeting. That's excellent. Anything else you wish to ask?
Can't think of anything, but I'm sure something will come up when it's too late.
That's also what various skills are for, is to find out what your character knows. So, for example, if you get there and you see something written in a strange language, you can roll what's called a society check to see if you recognize the language, so that even if it's not on your list of languages, which I think I forgot to give you, even if it's not on your list of languages, you can say, does my character know this? And so anytime you meet something new, it's always worth spending an action to what we call recall knowledge to see what your character knows, because your character knows things that you do not, because they live in this world.
So I'm kind of, I see some birds flying around that tower, and I see a little bit of vegetation. So can I do like a nature check? Or?
Yes, let's do our first roll of a nature check. So any checks that you do are going to be with a d20, a 20-sided dice. The only time you use the non-d20s is when you're rolling damage after an attack. So yes, please make a roll with your d20, add your nature modifier.
And I even have like a rolling box. Look at that. So
oh, that is so fancy.
Wow.
this is, don't get too impressed. This is a failed 3D print project. So I just put some felt in it, but I still like to brag. So, okay, so roll 20.
Yep.
All right. So that is an 11, but I have a plus 11 on nature, so that's a 22.
So that's a 22. So what I do now is I go to the secret GM page that has all the DCs listed. So whenever you roll, you're comparing against something called a difficulty class. And so I have to go and compare it against the difficulty class for the level of the thing that you are looking at. So I'm going to go to level-based DCs, and I'm going to pick a level difficulty here based on the creature. You got a 22?
Yes, total.
Yeah, so that is enough to recognize a couple of things. The vegetation looks normal for the area, so it's the type of moss and vines you would expect. It doesn't look like they're doing anything weird with the plants. The birds circling around looks to be a massive flock of ospreys. And so you usually don't see that big of a flock together. And so there must be something significant to those ospreys up there at the top of the tower for there to be so many of them there.
So with that check, I say something like, most everything here is kind of normal, but I have to tell you, there's something going on with the birds, because that's not natural. Osprey, they tend to be a little bit more, they live in isolation. I don't think that they may kind of move about a little bit through the seasons, but to see like them doing what vultures might do, that's kind of ominous. So we need to kind of check that a little bit.
Is there anything about the tower that looks out of the ordinary? Any light that we can see coming from it? Or
you do see some flashes of light through the high windows overhead, like the Dean described. That's kind of more going on close to the top of the tower. From immediately inside, like the bottom of the tower, you do hear some rumbling sounds.
I don't know.
So can we tell from the way the lights are flashing what exactly is flashing? Is it like a spark? Is it like a candle flame? Is it like a...
It looks kind of like a spark.
Okay.
You can either make an Arcana check or a physics lore check, whichever is higher.
Let's go with physics lore.
Let's go with physics lore. Right, our first physics lore of the evening. Good.
Let's see, 1d20. And then would you say it was 10?
Yes, your modifier is plus 10.
Oops.
Wrong
one.
Was that the wrong? Yeah, I guess that's, yeah, it's the other one. It's not LaTeX. Can't believe I've never made that mistake, actually. 27. Okay, yeah, somebody is definitely doing something with electric fields up there.
Okay.
Looks like.
Mm.
You don't know if it's giant capacitors. You don't know if they've got like huge charged shapes or something. If they're doing a Van der Graaf generator or whatever it's called in this world. But yeah, there's definitely something going on with electric fields up there.
Electric field. So source of electric field. I don't know what would draw Osprey to that.
Well, so I guess I should say that's kind of in the middle-ish of the tower, the sparks. The ospreys are at the very top. Like you see how it's kind of that broken open air top. There must be something in that open air area.
Okay.
And the rumbling is coming from basically the front door.
I mean, are these physicists being used as gerbils? They're like a giant wheel, and
there's really only one way to find out.
Yeah, I think I don't think we're gonna get grabbed up by the root of a plant. These look pretty normal. So should we go ahead and move forward?
Let's go in. Let's see what's
all right. Who is walking in first?
I'll go in first.
You're going first? Okay.
You're the investigator.
I'm curious.
There we go. Okay.
And what should I call you?
Aharat.
Aharad?
And And actually, when you come in, you'll actually be able to see your names on the screen here.
Ah, okay.
So you should be able to control those if you're logged in on Roll20. Actually, what I can do, I can just give control of each of them, both of you. That way you can move either one as you need. So you can control yours. I can move everybody, but you can move your folks around as.
Was there a separate login for that?
Yes. So let me. I think you registered for it because I saw your name on the thing. If you just go into roll20.net and log in, it'll be in your list of games.
Okay.
And what I can do, since you're on the player view and I'm on the GM view, I control what you see. So like I can press shift click and move your view on the screen, like you see there. And I control what map you see. So I just moved you from the first map to the second map.
So I click on join a game?
Join a game, yeah.
Okay. All right,
And
I had the editor up, like the tutorial.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Ooh, code of conduct, I agree. All right.
It will take it a second. When you get to the game, it'll take it a second to load. It'll give you an ad that if you pay money, they'll let you see it right away.
Okay, I'm looking for it.
How about I resend you the player link, actually. Copy link address. Okay, in the Zoom chat, I'm going to drop the link. That should take you right there. No, I'm going to try to. Copy link address, paste. There we go.
Okay, so I click that. There it is. So I saw this before.
Yeah.
Okay. It's launching.
Okay, cool. So while Steve's is loading, there we go. Let me give you a little description of what you see. So you enter a broad hallway where you see two physics professors running back and forth to avoid two double pendulums that are swinging back and forth from the ceiling. So if you look at the map, you should see two red rectangles to the north in that big broad hallway. Those are that's the axis along which each double pendulum is oscillating. Meanwhile, a goblin dressed in a tuxedo watches seemingly with disinterest. So it's at that point we can all make what's called an initiative roll. Initiative used to be its own thing that had its own modifier, but now you get to roll any skill for initiative based on the thing you were doing when you came in. Usually you're going to roll perception for initiative, but if you want to argue that your character was tumbling through the door or something, you can roll acrobatics instead. Or if you want to argue that you are climbing the wall, you can make athletics your initiative roll instead.
So this is under skills or?
Perception's actually just above skill. It's listed separately. It's considered a sense, not a skill.
Okay.
So I'm going to get an initiative for the double pendulum. Not that great. Let me get our turn order up here.
And I have 14.
You have a 14? Okay.
My perception has a +9.
Yep.
For low light vision.
Yeah, low light vision will come in handy if you're in a dimmer area. All right, Todd's got a 14, so that goes to Aharat. How much did you have, Steve? Sorry.
I had a 14.
14. All right. Which of the two of you would prefer to go first?
Oh, we're tied.
You tied, yes.
I don't have a preference.
Yes. Yeah, I'll go first.
What do you have weapon-wise or offensive-wise? Just to...
I have an elven curve blade, and then I have a shield, which isn't drawn yet. Yeah, so it's a 12 on my melee strike. Or strength of 4. Does that make a difference?
Oh, sorry. You're asking him.
So I've got a short sword and a sap. So I guess I don't think I'm any.
Yeah. I have a crossbow too.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll go first. That's fine.
Okay.
So up highest in the initiative are actually the physics professors. And you can see them kind of running back and forth, trying to get through the double pendulums. But of course, the double pendulums are chaotic, and so they can't tell when the bottom pendulum is going to be swinging in their way. And so they're basically trapped in this rectangle formed up here. The goblin dressed in the tuxedo doesn't actually move or do anything. You hear him kind of chide the physics professors. How are you supposed to teach the master if you don't understand these pendulums yourself? And after that, we'll come to, I think Steve was going to go first.
Yep.
Okay. It happened to have randomly sorted you there already, so that's good. So Astantine is up.
Okay, so...
we should probably talk about turns. Sorry, we should probably talk about turns. On your turn, you get 3 actions. An action is basically anything you can do in 2 seconds. So you have somewhere on your character sheet, you have a speed listed. It's listed in feet. I know, just pretend it's in units of feet per 2 seconds. So in one action, you can move your speed. You can draw a weapon. You can strike. Your spells, Steve, each list the number of actions that they require. They'll have these little diamond things to count the number of actions. Most spells are 2 actions. So basically anything you do is a single action.
Okay, so and I'm trying to get this map in a location where I can actually see it and move.
You might need to zoom in or out.
Yeah, but I can't like hand left or right. Let's see.
If you right click and drag, you can.
Ah, okay, there we go. Okay, so
sorry, it is not the most intuitive design in the world.
Okay, so I guess I can't really see the double pendula all that well right now. But are they kind of just in that plane, or are they going?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, basically the double pendulum is what's called a hazard, and so if you go up to it, you'll be interacting with the hazard, and I have the hazard's information right here.
What's the scale on the squares? How big are the squares?
The squares are 5 feet by 5 feet. So if you have a speed of, I think, 25 feet, you can move 5 squares.
Okay.
And if you want, we can do Pythagorean theorem to get your actual distance. It's actually simpler just to count diagonals as 5. Percent difference is not that big an issue.
Okay.
It's how the game authors play, actually, is by ignoring the diagonals. So.
All right. So I don't know. I think if I raise my shield, is that one action?
That is one action. So that's how you get the bonus, the shield bonus to your AC.
And then I think what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and move up a little bit. I mean,
okay.
I think we're going to be fairly well protected. I mean, the physicists are trapped between them. So I'm going to move up for a closer view, and I'm going to, I don't know, maybe I can kind of get like to that position.
Sure.
That way I'm kind of protected by that column, it looks like maybe that is.
Mm-hmm.
Some kind of an altar. Or,
let's call that whole movement one action, just because I kind of placed you randomly at the beginning, right? So you would have raised shield, you would have moved, now you have one last action.
One last action.
Mm-hmm.
And so
are these stairs that are going up to like an upper?
Those are stairs. So on the left and right here is basically an overhang, and then the stairs will lead you up to those. Let's say they're 10 feet up.
Can we see where the pendulum is swinging from?
Yes, it's attached basically to the center of that plane, up at the up on the ceiling.
Okay, now I've got 3 dots that are above me. There's a red, there's a green, and there's kind of like a blue circle.
Oh, those are trackers for like hit points and stuff. You can type numbers in there if you want.
Okay. All right. So so those will always be surrounding the character then?
When you have it selected, they'll come up. If you deselect, they'll go away.
Okay.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. Well, so I have one more action. Well, I have my shield drawn, or my shield raised. Okay, so let's see here. I'm looking for maybe like some kind of a spell or something that I could. Oh, let's see. But these all take 2 actions.
Most of those will take 2. So your spells come in 2 types. Actually, 3 types, excuse me. You have your spells that each have a level on them, first, second, third. Those you get a limited number of per day. So your spell slots should be listed at the top of that spell page. And then on the left, you have a list of what are called cantrips. And cantrips you can cast over and over and over again. They are your little magic tricks that you're just kind of always doing. You also have focus. You should have at least 1 focus spell. And that you have to spend a focus point to use. And so you have a maximum number of focus points. You spend 10 minutes meditating to get your focus points back. But you know, combat rounds last 6 seconds each, so you can't really meditate in the middle of combat.
So I have this.
It's 100 rounds.
A focus spell of an elemental toss, but I don't know how many focus points I have.
I think you have 1.
Is it just 1? So, okay.
Yeah. So you can do that once per combat, basically.
Okay. So elemental toss.
Mm-hmm.
Now I printed off some of these things. I don't know if I got the elemental toss printed off.
I've got the archive in front of me.
Okay.
So I'll send that to you in the chat. There we go.
All right.
So yeah, so elemental toss only requires 1 action. That's what the little diamond shape on there means. It's got a range of 30 feet. It can target 1 creature. With the flick of your wrist, you fling a chunk of your elemental matter at your foe, so you'd be tossing ice. Make a spell attack roll, dealing 1d8 of bludgeoning damage on a success and double damage on a critical success. And so if you're an ice sorcerer, this is going to be bludgeoning, and we can also call it cold. It doesn't make a difference for right now, but we can call it cold too.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna...
Excuse me. And it's actually going to be 3d8 because your focus spells do what's called a heightening, where they heighten up to the maximum level of spell you can cast. So you can cast 3rd level spells. So for you, this elemental toss spell is actually level 3, and each time you heighten it, it adds that +1. So it's going to add another d8, once for 2nd level, once for 3rd level. So you're actually going to deal 3d8 of damage to whatever poor unfortunate soul you toss this thing at.
So here's the deal. Can that goblin see me where I'm at?
He can see you. It is not his turn, so he cannot respond to you until it's his turn.
I don't know. Aharat, should we take a preemptive strike here?
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right, because I don't like what he's doing to my, to those 2 physicists. I mean,
all right,
making them run back and forth and pressuring them to understand a 2-body problem.
That's a reasonable. That's a reasonable course of action. So what you're going to do, you should have a spell attack modifier near the top left of that page.
Spell attack roll is +11.
+11. So you roll a d20, add 11. I'm going to compare that to the armor class, the AC of the goblin that I have right in front of me.
Okay. So that's 12 plus 11. So yeah, 23.
23 will hit. You are trying to meet or exceed the AC, right? So you as the attacker always have a little bit of an advantage because you can meet it and be successful. So a 23 will hit. You can roll your 3d8 cold damage.
3d8. So that
bludgeoning, excuse me.
So I just roll it once.
Roll it 3 times and add them together.
Oh, okay, all right.
Your goal is to get 3 8s.
Oh boy, well that was not it.
Oh no.
Still not great. 12, total of 12.
Total of 12 is respectable. Okay, so I'm going to put -12 on my little screen here. It's worth noting also that you each start the session with 1 hero point. A hero point you can spend to re-roll any D20 roll. So it doesn't really help you on your damage, but if you miss an attack and you really need it to hit, you can spend your hero point to re-roll it. Now, you also might want to have a hero point sitting around because they prevent you from dying. We'll talk about that if and when that arises. I have not dropped a PC to 0 HP, I think, in a while, but you never know.
Okay.
All right, that concludes Ascantine's turn. Congratulations, Steve. And we move to Aharat.
All right. So for my first action, I think I'll move up where I can actually see. 1, 2, oops. Okay. And for my next action, I think I will draw my composite longbow.
Oh. You could try to take one of these pendula out.
Yeah.
Or the
You
goblin.
can do that.
I was thinking the pendulum, but because then we can get in close to the goblin. How hard does it look to hit that?
It looks like it's pretty reasonable. Here's what I will tell you about hazards. They are objects. So they have an armor class, they have saving throws, and they have HP, just like a creature would. But because they're an object, they also get something called hardness. And hardness gets subtracted off from any damage that you would deal to it. So you can attack a hazard. There's usually some way to disable a hazard using your skills that is that's more efficient. But if you need to hack away at a hazard, you can.
Then why don't I focus on the goblin then? And
you can also spend an action to recall knowledge about a hazard like this to get some information about how it works.
now, why don't we take care of the goblin first, and then we can talk about the. So I'll take
fine.
So then for my last action, I'll take a shot.
Just don't hit a physicist.
They don't have that rule anymore. That used to be a rule that it has gone in second edition.
All right. And then do I get what's my addition to that?
That's your your D20 plus your longbow attack modifier, or your range attack modifier.
All right, so that's the number on the arrowhead?
Yes. Okay. They made it all pictographic.
Okay.
For just that reason.
23.
A 23 will strike your target. You can roll for damage.
Nice.
1d8. Seven.
7 points of damage. Okay, yeah. So he's now got ice on one shoulder and arrow sticking out of the other. What did Craig do? And okay. So that was all three of your actions. So we
hope he's a bad guy.
We come now to the double pendulums. They continue to swing along their planes, but there is nobody within those planes, so nothing really happens there. The physics professors, this one's the one on the right sees this ice and arrows flying past and decides to run and hide behind the column here.
Hide from us or from the goblin? Can we tell?
It looks like he's adopting the best defensive posture possible. This one is so thrilled to see you. She is going to start running toward you. Is going to run into the double pendulum here.
No.
So the double pendulum is going to get an attack roll. 1d20 plus 15. Ooh, we're gonna call that. We're gonna call that a hit. Let's see how much damage that deals. Okay.
Is the dean gonna prorate our reward if we
based on the number of physicists?
Wait, no, we're here to save you. Stay where you are. 15
points of damage to this physics professor. So we're gonna put a minus 15 in her red circle there just to indicate she has taken a little bit of damage. It kind of grazes her. She is still standing, but looks a little unsteady. The goblin's turn. The goblin is going to draw this hook of a weapon. It might not be like anything you've seen before. You can roll to recognize it if you want to. He will then move up 5, 10, 15, 20. He'll move up here. And he is and this hook weapon he has is on a tether. And he starts at whoosh, 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 starts to wind it up and throw it at Astantine. Let's see, what is his modifier? His modifier, I'm just going to roll it out in the open, is a +10. So, Steve, what you'll need to do is look at your armor class, your AC in the center of your character sheet. Yep. And I need to know if I can hit him with a 24.
Ooh, yeah, I'm 22.
22, okay, so that exceeds.
But my shield is up. Does that help?
That gives you a +1, yes.
Oh, not enough.
Not enough. I mean, even if it was a +2, it wouldn't be enough. So this thing is I actually wanted to make that well, never mind. Hand off the chess piece. I wanted to make that a Tripp attempt, but we'll make it an attack. That's going to deal 1d6 + 6 bludgeoning damage. So you have in the upper right your hit points. You're going. That starts out at your maximum. You start out each day feeling nice, vim, and vigorous, but you lose 10 of those hit points.
Ooh, okay. All right.
And Craig will shout, "Do not disturb the master's learning experience." And Astantine.
Okay, so I'm up, huh? Let's see.
You're up.
The physicist, she's been injured. I don't know. I guess I could go heal her. She lost 15.
She lost 15. She's not in danger of dying, but
okay.
She can't take too many more of those.
Okay. Well, so what about communicating? So she's close to me. Can I have talk to her a little bit and try to find out what's going on?
Talking is what's called a free action. It doesn't cost you an action to do it, but you have to keep it within reason, right? So we kind of fudge this when we do the villain monologue, right? But you can't give a lecture with a free action, but you can communicate a couple of sentences.
Listen, I'm trained to give 50-minute lectures, so
yeah.
So I'll talk to her. Do we know her name?
Yes, of course. I have that information written down. We're going to look that up on the notes that I totally have written. And her name is Norde.
Norde, we've been hired by the dean. Your syllabi and office schedules, they're due soon. But first, we need to see if we can, we see Pendula here. What can you tell us, executive summary? What's happening?
He Foster wanted us to teach him, and he needed and she's dodging the double pendulum, right? Because we're in initiative order, which is really an approximation for stuff happening simultaneously. So you have to imagine the thing is still swinging while she's talking. He wanted us to teach him, and this was our latest mechanics lesson. Okay, so is Foster the goblin, or is the goblin?
My name Craig.
Oh, Craig. Okay.
Foster is the giant. Foster is the master. The goblin keeps butting into your conversation here.
Okay, so all right. Well, so that was an action-free item?
Yes. You still have your 3 actions.
Okay, 3 actions. All right, so let's see here. I am going to I'm going to do the opposite here. So I have a signature spell. And I'm gonna do fireball. I'm gonna kind of
Nice. So a signature spell, you can cast that at any level. So you only know it at one level, but signature spells also heighten, and you can cast them at any level that you want, first, second, or third. That just changes how much damage poor Craig is going to take.
Okay, so first, second, or third, does that impact like the number of actions or?
No. It's always 2 actions. First, second, or third level just determines which spell slot you sacrifice to cast it. Because those spell slots you have, you've only got a certain number of those per day.
Okay, so I haven't used any yet.
You haven't used any yet. As soon as you cast it, you decide what level you want to cast it at, and then you just mark off 1 spell slot for the day.
I don't know. I don't think this goblin.
It's a conservation of energy thing. You get so much energy at the beginning of the day, and then you're expending it.
I don't know. This goblin is not the big boss, so I think I'll just do like level 1.
Okay, that sounds fine. I believe that means he owes you a reflex save. So you look up your spell casting DC, and he is going to try to dodge out of the way of the fireball with a reflex save. His reflex modifier is 8. Oh no!
Uh-oh.
Okay, we have our first natural 1 of the evening.
And that was yours.
And that was mine. What a natural 1 does is you evaluate the success of the roll, whether it's a success or a failure, and you treat it as 1 degree worse. So there's 4 degrees of outcome. There's critical success, success, failure, and critical failure. So if it is a failure, it becomes a critical failure, and he takes double the damage. So I'm guessing your spellcasting DC is greater than 9.
Spellcasting DC. Where are we here? Is that on the same page as?
It's back on their spells. Yeah, all your spell stuff is on one page.
Okay, so I have spell attack roll. Is that? Oh no,
and just below that is spell DC. It should be 10 plus the attack roll.
Yeah, so its spell DC is 21.
21. Okay, so it's a crit fail anyway, because you can get a crit fail by rolling a 1 or by failing the DC by more than 10. Or by 10 or more, excuse me. So he critically fails. So you're going to roll your damage like you normally would and then double it for him.
So the 8.
Yes. So fireball is a D8, is it? Fireball, spell 3. Excuse me. It is a... actually, excuse me. Fireball starts at spell level 3rd. So you do have to spend a 3rd level spell to cast it.
Oh, okay. All right.
I forgot it. I forgot it doesn't start at level 1. It starts at level 3.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure this will accomplish what you want it to. I'm sure it will be fine. Okay.
But
so yeah, you're gonna roll 6d6.
6
6-sided die.
Okay.
And then double it for the poor creature.
All right, here we go. So this is a D6.
That's the cube, yeah.
Yeah, and I got a 2.
Okay.
And then how many
times?
Do
that 5 more times.
Okay. 3. And 13.
13, so he loses 26 hit points. And because you're an elemental blooded sorcerer, actually all of your fire spells become the element that is in your blood. So it's actually an ice ball that you are engulfing this goblin with. Let me do a little bit of math here on 19 and 26, I think. Yep, you have actually reduced him below. Actually, you have reduced him to 0 hit points exactly. And so Craig is going to fall over. Just before he falls over, you hear him say, "Just make sure you teach the master the real physics." And having given plot relevant information, Craig now dies.
Oh, okay. Great.
All right.
So yeah, and I kind of shout out, okay, get out of the way of the pendulum.
You do have one more action if you would like to do it.
Because that was 2 actions.
That's 2 actions, yeah.
Okay, so let's see here. I don't know. I guess, can I, let's see, you said it's mounted toward the center, like directly above where
Yeah, so
Norde is?
here-ish. Yeah, she's basically right below it.
Okay. All right. So I guess what I'll do is I'll move close to her, so I'll be in position to heal next time.
Okay. That sounds good. And Ahurat.
So on the upper level, does it look like there's anywhere that you can go under the pendulum or get past it? Like,
I mean, it's basically swinging up there on the upper level too. By the time you got up there, it would be arcing up.
okay.
So you're just as likely to get hit there as you are on the ground level, I think.
Let's see. Do I have any? Can I use my engineering lore to see if I can see any sort of control mechanism or lever or something like that?
Yeah, so what you can do, you're going to spend an action to recall knowledge.
Okay.
And so it costs you an action because you're sitting there thinking about it for a couple of seconds. You're going to make a roll against the DC of the pendulum that I have in front of me.
Okay. And then what should I use for the modifiers? I do have engineering lore. I don't know if that's the appropriate one. That one's fine?
You can use engineering lore, sure.
Oops. D20 plus my engineering lore is plus 11.
Plus 11, that's even better than your physics. There you go.
Yep. 12. Uh-oh. Does it, the fact that that's a natural 1, does that have?
Oh my. So we treat it as one good. Level worse. Okay. And actually, what's supposed to happen is I'm supposed to make the knowledge checks as a secret roll. So you don't metagame whether it was right or wrong. You do have a hero point if you want to use it.
Sure, why not?
Okay, so your hero point, you're going to re-roll it and take the second. Can't get any worse, literally.
So I also have a cantrip called Guidance. Can I apply the guidance for him?
You would have to cast that on your turn, and then he decides when to use that. Yeah, okay. And that's a single action spell. So you go and do something that costs 2 actions, and then you cast Guidance. Is a great thing.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, a 26 clears the DC of 19. So you recognize this as a double pendulum. It is what's called a complex mechanical trap. Meaning it still damages you, but it has no intelligence. It has a routine that it acts on each round. You know that there's a couple things you can do to disable it. The first thing you have to do is succeed at a physics lore check to identify the movement pattern of the lower bob, right? Followed by you can use athletics, crafting, or thievery, and I would let you use engineering lore too, because engineering lore is kind of akin to crafting in this case, to disable it at the right moment. So basically your physics lore allows you to figure out where it's going to be, doing a local approximation or something. It's chaotic. Yep. You're sitting there with your Euler Chromer really quickly. And then you're going to use a skill to attempt to disable it at the right moment. If you succeed, it becomes a single pendulum, and it becomes much easier to disable the top pendulum, right? Because it's just a single pendulum at that point. But a failure will cause the thing to start rotating in 3 dimensions instead of a plane.
Okay.
And so it will end up going in a circle-ish at that point, instead of being confined to this nice little rectangle that you have there. And then you would have to disable the upper pendulum bob as well.
Okay.
And that's what you know. And you know basically each round it's going to strike a random target in or adjacent to the plane of its motion. And you know that it deals bludgeoning damage and chaotic damage.
Chaotic damage.
Right, because there's alignment-based damage, there's lawful damage, and chaotic damage. It is a double pendulum, therefore, it deals chaotic damage.
All right. Should I try it? This could go bad. but should I try it?
Yeah,
Why not?
Yeah. Use
All
your
right.
skills.
Yeah, you can move and then you can attempt to disable it.
Okay. Whoops. I just lost my windows. There we go. All right. So move up. And then you said physics first.
Yeah, attempt a physics lore check to try to figure out where it's going to be.
And our physics lore was 10, you said?
Your physics lore is +10, yeah.
Okay. 25.
25 is enough, so you figure out, all right, it's going to be coming here. I got it. So you can attempt athletics, crafting, engineering lore, or thievery to disable it at the right moment.
I'll go with engineering lore. That's the highest thing I've got.
Okay. That's another thing about the lore skills. Like I as the GM can't possibly know all the lore skills that y'all might possibly have. And so basically your job is to say, can I use my blank lore? Like get as many uses out of it as you can.
19.
Ooh, you just barely almost get to the thing. I said failure causes it to rotate in 3. I think that should be a critical failure, I feel like. I'm gonna update my notes there. So yeah, so you're like, I got this, I don't got this.
So close.
All right, that will bring us to the double pendulum. Let's see, so it has 3 possible targets. We're gonna roll a 1d3. Because it's a computer, it can roll any side of dice at once. 1, 2, 3. 3, all right, it bops. It's going to try to bop the Professor, what did I say her name was? Norday, Professor Norday again. Let's see, it's going to get a +15. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
So a natural 20 does the opposite of a natural 1, where it treats it 1 step higher. So this would be a success. It now turns into a critical success. So she is going to take double the damage. I think I can do ×2 on here. Yes, I can. All right. And Professor Norday gets clunked on the head. We'll call it non-lethal damage. So she falls unconscious. She's going to fall onto the ground. She is still breathing. She is not dying. She's just unconscious because it's a double pendulum. You know, it shouldn't kill anybody. The other one swings around. It can't do anything. The other physics professor kind of pokes his head around and says, "You killed the goblin and my colleague. Whose side are you on?" Craig does not get a turn anymore. We'll just delete him from the turn order. We come to Astantine.
Okay, so is the double pendulum disabled?
It is not disabled yet. No, it's still in motion.
Doing this thing. And is Norday like out of harm's way, or
let's say she is prone now and it can it barely grazes her now. So she is not going to take any further harm.
Okay, so
she's safer than she was when she was conscious.
Okay, so I can either try to go to the other physicist and calm him, her, whoever down. I can heal Norday. What do we think?
Well, she's just unconscious, so she's not in danger of dying, it sounds like.
Okay.
And with your healing, how often can you use that?
I know he has a heal spell. He probably also has the medicine skill, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I have
Do you have a feat called battle medicine? It would be listed on your feats on the second page.
I have natural medicine under a skill feat.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have battle medicine.
Okay, battle medicine, usually a medicine check costs you 10 minutes to treat somebody. Battle medicine, you get to slap a tourniquet on them with 1 action, but I guess we didn't give you that. Yeah, so you can use a heal spell if you want, but those are kind of the most precious resource in the game.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll wait on that. I guess guess she's just unconscious. Okay, so I don't know if there's a whole lot of urgency. Aside from that other physicist kind of in a panic, thinking that we're
I'm trying to talk him down a little.
Yeah, so can I go try to get closer to to them. I have an acrobatic skill plus 11. Will that help me get through the pendulum?
You're actually fine. It's because it's not its turn. It's technically, in terms of the action economy, it's frozen while you are moving.
Okay.
Right. So again, initiative order is an approximation to simultaneity. So.
Okay. So the other thing I could do is I could detect magic. Like, are these real double pendula, like operating under natural physical laws, or?
Todd's check earlier would have revealed that it does seem to be acting normal.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So then,
basically, your main goal is to either destroy them or disable them.
Okay. Or just get past. I mean, okay.
Or get past them. If you can get the physicist to safety, I mean, that's the main goal.
Okay, so, wait, what we could do, should we try to drag that physicist away from the double pendulum toward the exit?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that way, when she comes to, right, that's 1 of 7.
You just prop her up in her classroom and she will wake up and start teaching.
Yes, we just need a warm body.
Yes.
Okay, so how many actions would that take for me to go ahead and
oh, goodness.
Out of harm's way?
Let me see if there's an action for dragging somebody.
I don't have an athletic. I don't have a plus there.
I mean, I wouldn't make you do a check. You're not trying to. She's not resisting. Like, it's she's unconscious. It's no different than if you were grabbing a. Okay, yeah. So I guess if we treat this like you were trying to drag a chest or something across the room, you would spend one manipulated action to grab under her shoulders. You would spend another action to move.
Okay. So I'll do that. I want to get her out of harm's way so that when she doesn't, when she wakes up, she doesn't just get clocked again.
That sounds good. You move yourself and I will move her after you.
Okay, so I'm gonna move kind of over here.
Okay.
Get her out of that plane.
She is in harm's way if she's adjacent to the plane, and I'll remind you that it can end up going in outside of the plane if you critically fail on disabling it.
Okay, so I need to move her again?
I mean, yeah, you could move her up to your speed. You're still moving at your speed.
Okay, so let's move her down here.
Okay.
She'd be safe there, right?
Let's say you drop her right there. How about that?
Okay, all right.
All right, and letting go, we'll say is a free action, just like because you can drop something with a free action. So you can take your third action if you would like.
Okay, third action. Now, you've got some pretty good ideas, Aharad. So I think I'm going to go ahead and give you guidance. So I'm going to cast a spell, and that means that you can, if you need to, improve a roll. Right?
Yes. So basically, within the duration of the spell, he gets to choose, I want to use this +1 on this roll, and then you're immune for, I think it's an hour. I always forget.
In other words, he can't use that again on me.
He can't use it again on you for an hour. Yeah, 1 hour.
But it's a cantrip, so I don't have to, it doesn't take a slot.
It doesn't take a slot. Yeah, you can cast guidance all day. It's just a limit of once per hour per person.
Okay. And that takes an action. So I'm done.
Yes, that is an action. So you are done. You literally call out guidance, and he is guided.
I got a tingled.
All right, we come back to Todd.
All right, so I'm going to try and stop it, I guess. Well, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and try and stop it. So first is physics first. Or
Physics lore first, yeah.
Physics lore first. 28.
28 will get you your okay. I know where it's coming. I got it this time. So now you can try your engineering too.
Okay, now do I have to
physics and engineering together? You have to say you're using the guidance before you use it. Yes.
Okay, so I will use the guidance here. So let's see, 1d20.
Usually, sometimes we get desperate.
And you said it was +1?
Yeah, it's another +1, so that'll make it a +12 for you.
Okay.
I guess it is.
32.
Natural 20.
20.
All right. So you critically succeed at disabling it. I don't have a rule for what happens when you critically succeed. So let's say you snip the one ball off and then you snip the top bob too. So you actually successfully successfully disable the entire double pendulum. And I am trying to select the shape here. Oh, it must be in the map. No, it's not. Oops, nope, I deleted the whole map. That wasn't supposed to do that. Do I have that in GM overlay? I thought y'all could see that. No. Okay. Oh, that's right. I have to select the drawing thing, I think. Nope. Okay, well, pretend that lower rectangle is no longer there. I'm not sure why it's not moving. All right, so with one action, you disable the entire pendulum entirely. That one is no longer there.
All right.
What would you like to do next?
Let's see, what else? I'm trying to see what else is in the room.
Is that other physicist still in panic mode?
He is very much in panic mode. Now you've destroyed his equipment. He spent a lot of grant money on that.
All right, well, why don't I go? I'm going to go up and check Craig.
Okay.
See if Craig has anything of interest.
Craig has on him, you now recognize the weapon as an Atlas. It's a bludgeoning weapon. You can actually look it up if you want. It has the ranged trip option where you can trip somebody with a range of, it's listed as 20 feet on here. So you can kind of throw it to hook somebody around and then pull to kind of drag them down to their feet. He also has a hand crossbow that may or may not be of interest to you. And he has 5 doses of lethargy poison.
Okay.
Let me get you the info for that.
I wonder if we could use that weapon to entangle the other double pendulum and just put it out of commission.
Yeah.
You could fail and make it a triple pendulum. I'll send you the info on lethargy poison.
And is there a limit as to the number of things we can carry?
In principle, you're not going to reach that limit in the course of tonight.
Okay.
So I'm not worried about it. As long as you don't try to make off with the Giant's grand piano, I think we're fine. Y'all saw the grand piano, right?
What?
I make joke. Okay, so that's going to be Ahurat's turn. The double pendulums swing chaotically. The physics professor. Bandits! I knew it. You must be bandits. You're here to steal all our equipment and our research notes. You're here to scoop me. And let's say he actually tries to escape now that this double pendulum is no longer operating. He's going to come this way, let's say.
Wait. What's the dean's name? Did the dean give us a name?
Of course the dean gave you a name. His name is Ukisk.
Dean Ukist?
Dean Ukist.
Dean Ukist sent us to save you guys. You got classes to teach.
Wait, stop. We need your syllabi and office hours.
Is my getting kidnapped gonna hurt my tenure chances? They said, whatever you do, don't get kidnapped in pre-tenure workshop. That's what they told us. And it happened.
We'll have to submit it to the grievance committee.
Oh, I'll be filing a grievance. You can better believe it.
Okay, so the physicists moved there.
Yes.
And is that their turn, or are they doing more?
That's his turn because he had to use all of his actions to move that far.
Okay.
He had to do a move. So yes, it is your turn, Steve.
All right. So I don't know. How do I mean, what should I do here? Or should we talk this person down, or?
Yeah, we should see what he knows. What's ahead of us? What are we dealing with here?
So this, Steve, is where you'll want to take a look at your diplomacy skill.
Yes.
So whenever you want to interact with someone socially, you have three options. You can use diplomacy to be nice to them. You can use deception to lie to them, or you can use intimidation to scare them.
Yeah, I really don't want to scare this physicist. I think they're already kind of freaked out. And my intimidation is the same as diplomacy. No, actually, my intimidation is a little bit greater. But I'm going to go ahead. I think that's wise. Let's use diplomacy and try to like calm this person down. And
Very good.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to use my diplomacy, try to calm this person down. Maybe we can have like a conversation and figure out, you know, what other pitfalls are ahead of us.
Okay. I have a DC lined up for you.
Okay. So I need to roll the 20.
Mm-hmm. And add your diplomacy modifier.
That's a natural one.
Oh, no.
I could have lied. That is what it was.
You have a hero point.
Okay, so that's one hero point.
Uh-huh. Remind me to give you another hero point after the combat. I always forget to give out more.
Okay, so
I'm supposed to give out approximately one every hour. So
Okay, that helps.
That would get me to a 2, and then plus the 11. Is that?
No. The hero point you're re-rolling.
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna do that. Yeah, because I don't want to fail on trying to calm this person down. Okay, so I'm gonna roll again. Oh, this time I get a 19.
Nice.
That's a little better. So 19, plus 11. So I think that should calm this person down.
So that's 19 plus 11. I kind of hate adding with 9. So that becomes a 30.
30, yeah.
The DC was 15. So you critically succeed, even though you didn't roll a 20 on the die. You critically succeed because you exceeded it by 10 or more. And so this guy is running past you. And what is it you say to him?
I say, we come in peace. Wait, no. Dean Ukris sent us. He said sent us to bring back his trusted physicist. We're here to bring you back to campus. We need your syllabi.
The dean called me a trusted physicist?
Yes.
Would he be willing to put that in a letter?
I will. I'll put in a good word.
Okay, and he immediately stops in his tracks, kind of relaxes. Oh, trusted physicist. Oh man, that's gonna look nice on my nameplate. Trusted physicist. Archibald Rangast, trusted physicist.
Archibald Rangast.
I need to start writing these names down. Trusted physicist. That has a nice ring to it.
Okay, so, and we're hired by the department. Dean sent us, Dean Ukris, and he wants us to bring you back. Kind of concerned because there's some weird stuff going on. Like there's some.
Oh, it's very weird here. Oh my goodness.
So, got any intel?
So at this point, we will drop out of initiative and call the combat over because there's no more threat. There's no more timely danger to resolve. So we're more free flowing now where you don't have to worry about, is it my turn? How many actions am I using, et cetera, et cetera. So he says, oh yes, it's been very weird here. I was one of the first ones that Foster invited. Oh goodness, it has been strange.
So what's Foster been having you guys do?
Yeah, besides these double pendula that are kind of crazy.
He asked us to teach him. And I said, okay, I'm a physics professor. I'm always happy to teach a new learner. And, well, he's never been satisfied with what we've been teaching him.
You teaching him quantum?
I think we're about to get to that point because we're running out of things to teach him.
Yeah, that never goes well with students. They're never satisfied with quantum.
Right. Yeah, so how interested is he in E&M and chaos?
Oh, he's very interested in everything we throw at him. I think the E&M lab is upstairs, but he he keeps saying, it's strange. Every time we teach him something, he says, no, teach me the real physics.
Real physics.
Does he have you building things or?
Oh, all sorts of things. And he'll point up to the double pendulum that's still swinging. All sorts of strange things. I mean, we started with an intro course, and he said, no, that's not the real physics. Teach me the real physics. So we moved up to some Lagrangian mechanics here. He said, no, that's not the real physics. Teach me the real physics. We did a few rudimentary circuits, whatever we're capable of doing in this era of technology. He said, no, I said the real physics. So we moved to alternating current. No, the real physics. We're running out of topics, honestly.
So is he weaponizing these things, or is he just a curious giant?
We haven't seen him do anything with it. He does the lab, and he does the problems, and and every time he finishes a homework set, he slams down his pencil, which is big because he's a stone giant, right? The size of a fence post, and he says, no, teach me the real physics.
Does he explain his reasoning in his answer?
Incredibly well. He gets full marks on everything, and he keeps saying, no, before I go back to the stone giants, I have to learn the real physics.
Ooh, okay, so it's not the stone giant that's here that you're teaching, it's somebody else? Wait.
Oh, no. Foster is a stone giant. He says, before I can go back to the stone giants, plural, I'm sorry, I'm so flustered, I must not have enunciated properly, but he keeps worrying about the other stone giants.
I don't know. Sounds like the stone giant feels threatened. Well, so yeah, it's what else can we do here? Is it my turn? Are we?
We are out of initiative, so y'all kind of, as long
Okay.
as you share the screen time equally, we are okay.
So are there things that we need to be aware of? Are there things we need to know if we explore this tower? What kinds of things do we need to watch out for so we don't,
Well, I've mostly been working here in the mechanics lab, I guess. There is an E&M lab upstairs. I think he has some of our people working there. And then he has a few more of us directly tutoring him in his study up at the top. So if I were you, I would work my way up, try to find the folks in the E&M lab. Goodness knows what he subjected them to there, and then perhaps work your way up to the very top to his study.
Which way should we go? Which exit takes us there?
They will all lead you there. As I understand it, he simply grabbed these blueprints off the internet one day and just placed it in here in Roll20. So any exit is fine.
There appears to be some symmetry on this floor.
He insisted that the tower have symmetry. Yes.
All right, so we can take advantage of some things if there's symmetry. Okay, so anyway, well, would you kind of want to hang out here next to Norday, and then
certainly.
When she wakes up, do you know your way back, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Just follow the road, get back to the university, and never, ever, ever leave again. Got it.
Okay. All right. I don't know. So I guess we got to go upstairs and tackle E&M. So this is 2 physicists. Now, is Norday's not in any danger of not coming to?
No, and at this point you're out of combat. You can spend 10 minutes treating her wounds.
Okay. All right.
You can make a medicine check if you want, but basically you keep doing it until she comes to. She tells you basically the same story that Archibald did.
Okay. All right. All right. Well,
so you tell me when you are ready to move upstairs.
I guess if they're ready, they've kind of come to and they know their way back. That other double pendulum, we don't have to worry about. We just kind of let it.
You can let it die down to some damping forces, or you can take your time and cut it off at the right spot. I mean, you can actually, it looks like there's an exit before the double pendulum door. So
right. Yeah.
not the best dungeon design on my part, but
I say, you know, we can kind of go ahead and it looks like go up these stairs.
sure.
Oh,
All right,
oh,
let me move you.
Ooh.
So that should move you to, so you go up the stairs, you kind of follow the directions that Archibald gave you. It's one of those towers, it's like you just keep going up the stairs till you find the floor that you're obviously interested in, and you come at last to the E&M lab. Electric sparks erupt in the air, and electric field lines arc across the room, trapping 3 more physics professors in this laboratory. So this is going to be a skill challenge. It's not going to be a combat like we had before. So we're not going to play too strict with number of actions you get, etc. But basically, your goal here is to free the 3 physicists from the electric field prisons, and you can move around, take turns, do that however you see fit.
Wait, so what are we seeing? What are the yellow lines? What are those representing?
Those appear to be electric field lines that are holding your physicists hostage. Through the magic of this world's physics presence, you can see the electric fields.
Okay, so
Flash, that's how strong they are.
All right. Yeah, maybe there's some dust in the air and they're aligning themselves.
Yeah. They're arcing just enough. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, is it safe to? I mean, the physicists are trapped by these fields, so I assume we can't walk through them.
It would not be pleasant.
It looks like an electrical beast to the left, like
eel,
doesn't it?
In seawater or something.
You'd have to get closer to find out.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. All right. So. Oh, I'm clicking on the wrong thing. So if I click on my person, I mean, so we can move. Let's see.
You should be able to move them still. I just copied them over. Yes.
Yeah. Oops.
Yeah, if I copy them from one map to another, they keep all their properties.
I have to click and drag, I guess.
Yeah.
So, but I can't cross the electric field though, correct? I can't.
It would not be pleasant. Like you kind of put out your finger and you get a little bit singed. So.
Okay. Yeah. So
let's say no, you can't.
So if I go down here, can I get pretty close?
Yeah. You can get right there.
Okay. So is that one action?
We won't worry too much about the actions. Just when it seems like you've had a chance to try something, we'll move to Todd.
Okay, so yeah, I kind of want to walk over there, and I want to look to see what kind of an animal this is. So can I do like a perception check or something?
That would be nature.
Nature.
To identify an animal.
Okay, and that's plus 11.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'll check this out here. Ooh, natural 20.
Natural 20. All right. So you do identify this as a massive electric eel. It looks to be the source of some of the fields in the room, not necessarily all of them. Now that you're looking around, you can see they basically got positive and negative charges kind of scattered throughout the room. And so the fields are kind of just following the pattern you would expect a field line to. But yeah, it looks like this electric eel is the source of some of the electric field lines.
Okay.
And now that I'm here, I hope I can delete these when you.
And
yes, I will be able to. Okay, good.
It's in just water. This isn't like a magical eel and some kind of poisonous goop.
It looks like it might be salt water or something enhanced for conductivity or something, but it doesn't. It doesn't look like it's green ooze or something.
So I wonder if we freeze the water, the eel's done, and maybe that could get rid of at least one source of the electric field.
Okay.
I don't know. Let's see. So
let's get a if you want to try that, you can. Let's get a spell attack roll from you as you kind of unleash your elemental power at the water.
Spell attack roll. So the D20.
Yes.
And then that's spell attack is plus 11 again.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a 16. So 27.
27 will succeed. So the way we're going to do this is the way skill challenges work is you're trying to accumulate a certain number of points. And every time you succeed, you get 1 point. Every time you critically succeed, you get 2 points. Every time you critically fail, you lose 1 point. So there's a +1, a -1, and a +2. And failure is 0, no change.
Okay.
So yeah, so you managed to get one electric point, we're going to call it, and you managed to delete, let's say, that field line right there.
All right.
And the electric eel is now frozen in the frozen water.
All right.
Hopefully frozen cryogenically.
Yeah, it's like
We'll be
an
safe
eel
later.
pop.
Yeah.
A frozen eel pop.
Oh, I don't want to ever think about that again.
Well, it's like a pickle pop, right? Except it's an eel.
Yeah, those are orders of magnitude different. All right, let's turn it over to Todd then. See you had a
All right.
success.
So is it possible for me to get up in here between the field line and the...
Yeah, let's have an acrobatics check to see if you can squeeze between there.
+12 for acrobatics. D20 +12. 19.
19. Yeah, you bump your head on the way, but you do manage to see that little coil thing there. You managed to crawl under that.
Okay. All right. So can I talk to this guy? Say, what's going on?
You can. Before I forget, you each regained a hero point at the end of that combat. I just saw my reminder to myself there. And so this is Professor. This is Professor Lonzo. Professor Lonzo says that she is very relieved to see you. She asks if you are here to rescue them.
Yep. The Dean,
Okay.
Dean Ukrist sent us.
Oh yes, Ukrist. Yes. Well,
We've already rescued Norde and Rangist.
Oh, good. Yes, we need to get the rest of the department out of here as well. We have a curriculum committee meeting in the morning.
Yeah. Don't forget those syllabi.
Yeah. Yes, I'm sure the dean told you all about my syllabi.
Got to put those in that shared folder.
Yes, you have to upload it to the repository and email the program assistant and email the accreditation officer. Yes, I remember.
So any idea how to turn off the rest of these fields?
Well, and she's looking around like as they're sparking around her. Well, you seem to be off to a pretty good start. You can do anything you want as long as you do it well enough to disrupt the field. Seems like you should be able to just push a charged particle out of the way enough. You know, it'll drop off like 1 over r squared. Just push it out of the way enough and it'll die off. Looks like you could. There's plenty of odds and ends around here. You might be able to construct some sort of equipment to screen the fields. I think you might even be able to use deception to appear attractive enough to the charges. Attractive. I mean, shoot, you seem to know a bit about physics. You could just use your physics lore and come up with something clever, I'm sure. You could even use your thievery to just deconstruct the charge. Anything you can do that interferes with a charge, I'm sure would work.
All right, well, can I try to build a Faraday cage using my engineering lore?
Absolutely, you can try to build a Faraday cage. There's plenty of scrap metal and stuff around that you could assemble something together, put it kind of locally around one source, and that will cancel part of the fields.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and try and do that. Should I make a roll?
Okay.
Or
yeah, please make a roll.
All right, so 20 and my engineering was 11.
Okay.
Ooh, natural 20.
Natural 20. So that gives you 2 electric points. So we need a total of 5. So you've now got a total of 3. And so you're able to cancel out a good portion of that central ring that was there. So that brings us up to 3 electric points. Steve, what would you like to try to do?
That's a good question. I kind of like to go, so, oh, I'm clicking on the wrong thing again. So if I move up here, oh yeah, because that field isn't there anymore. I don't know, can I look at, does it look like these are some kind of like gems or some kind of electrodes? Can I do like a check or let me use my physics lore to see if I can decode what's going on there?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I'll roll. And that's a 16. So plus 10, so that's a 26.
26, yeah. So you can tell that up there, it looks like that's probably where they extracted the charged particles from. It looks like they did some electrolysis or something like that. They basically ripped some electrons off. They put the positive charge on one side, negative charges on the other side, and they just kind of let the electric field snake around. You managed to finagle that enough that you can... oh shoot, I was doing the wrong thing here. Hold on 1 second. Let me get this. I have to make sure I get the right shape in place. There we go. You managed to get yourself another electric point with that roll, and you've gotten rid of this portion of the charges or of the electric field. And so you think one more good disruption of the charges, and you'll be able to get rid of the last 2. So this physicist is able to kind of escape to safety. This physicist is able to, but there's one over here in looks like she's standing amid some storage racks or something. She can't get out yet.
Stuck in the lab storeroom.
Stuck in the lab storeroom, yes. Just went back for a set of calipers.
Hmm.
Let's see, could I...
Kind of want to look at that telescope.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that would be cool. Yes, it's the combination astronomy and E&M lab. He didn't give us a lot of lab space to work with. Still more than back on campus, though.
So is that big metal orrery or whatever, is that free to roll around or move around, or is that pretty stationary?
Let us say yes. If you can get a good enough athletics check, you can move it around.
All right, I want to see if I can roll it into and knock that charge out of the way.
Okay.
Oh, this is not going to be good. My athletics is +1. Don't expect much. +1. 7.
So that is a critical failure. So you lose an electric point. You're back down to 3 electric points now. Oh. You actually managed to knock the positive charge back in place to reinforce the electric field. All right. You accidentally knocked some dielectric in the middle, and now it's actually stronger.
Yeah. That's
Steve.
All right, your turn.
That's okay, Outerods. We submit grants, and sometimes we get denied. Sometimes we get chastised by a reviewer.
That's right. I pissed off the reviewer.
It happens. We just have to pick ourselves up and go again. So, I don't know. There's something like glowing here at the lower right, or it's like on the floor, like that.
Ooh,
circle
that
ring.
Runic circle. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. What can I? Give me just a second here. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. I don't know. So if I go over here and I just kind of, like in this, I don't know. We got to disrupt that electric field, right? So. Mm-hmm. I have this mysterious spell called Shattering Gem.
Ooh.
Which, I don't know.
Look at what that does. Shattering Gem. It's a first level spell, so it won't cost you too much in terms of resources. A large gem floats around the target in an erratic pattern. The gem has 5 hit points. Each time a creature strikes the target attempts a DC 11 flat check. On its success, the gem blocks the attack, so the attack first damages the gem and then applies remaining damage to the target.
So we don't have enemies, so it's not going to like absorb energy or anything.
I mean, you could say it absorbs the energy from the electric field. Yeah.
Well,
if you're willing to expend a spell slot, we can work with that.
And that would be level 1?
That would be a level 1 spell slot, yes.
Okay.
Unless you want to heighten it, but yeah.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Let's see if it absorbs the charges field and see what happens. So I have to roll, right?
Yeah, why don't you make a spell attack roll just for completeness' sake.
All right. So I'm going to do this level 1 if I can. All right, because I still have quite a bit. So I've got that would give me 3 level 1s, 4 level 2s, and 2 level 3s remaining. So okay, so spell check is 6 plus 11, so that's 17.
Yeah, so it managed to swing around just as you're passing through the electric field, and basically it does this reaction where it takes all of the electric potential that is being used here, and it stores that in the gem. So the gem is now cackling with electricity. You can kind of take it, put it in your pocket, and save it for a rainy day, I suppose.
Nice.
And so you have removed the last of the electric fields. I'm not sure why this last line is not.
So it's like an electric.
There we go.
An electric flux capacitor?
Yes, you now have an electric flux capacitor.
Nice.
You now have a capacitor in this gem.
Uh-huh.
And the last physicist is able to run free.
Ooh, all right.
Congratulations.
All right.
Please award yourselves 1 more hero point each. So I don't think you used your last one, so that should give you 2 each in your bank.
Okay. So hero points. Okay. So yeah, now it's kind of an interesting room, but I guess we've kind of solved this. Yeah, and the physicists are free to go, and they're happy. They're happy physicists.
They are happy. They are very relieved to be free. They say, okay, our colleagues are up in the study. Fostor is holding them. He's making them teach them more and more and more physics.
What kind of physics are they doing up there? The first floor it was mechanics. Here it was E&M. What are they doing upstairs?
I suspect by now they've probably ventured off into some applications, some solid state, some quantum field theory, some optics. He keeps asking for more and keeps saying we're not teaching him the real physics.
Real physics.
All the physics we teach him is real. We're not cheating him of anything.
And is he a good student?
He's an incredible student. He gets full marks on everything, but every time we give him an exam that shows 100%, he says, "No, if I understand it, it's not real physics."
Well, we will tell Dean Ukist about this to make sure that the Giants' evaluation marks don't reflect negatively on your portfolio review.
That's good, because I'm up for review this year.
All right. So anything else that we need to know? Is there there's not like a brick that's going to fall from underneath us? What way is the next? What way is the study?
It's upstairs. I've only been there once myself, and it smells.
What does it smell like?
Animals.
Biology?
It smells like biology, I'm afraid to say.
All right.
Is there anything else you're not telling us?
I'm sure you'll find out in time.
Okay, well, I guess point us in the direction of the study. Is it back down these stairs and up another?
Yes, yes. You go back down the bridge of death and continue up the stairs. So this room doesn't make sense compared to the one on the first floor or the one above. It's almost like somebody just grabbed 3 random maps and threw them together.
But the stairwells still have symmetry.
But the stairwell has symmetry. They all kind of bask in the symmetry for a minute. They recover hit points.
All right, let's head up.
Yeah,
All right, let me move you. All right, I'm going to show you the map, and then I'll position you. Actually, I need to grab your.
Can I run back down and grab the, what was it called? The weapon that Craig had?
The Ackless?
Ackless.
Yes.
I want to grab it.
Sure.
I don't know why, but.
Let me move you over, and then I'll paste. I'm going to paste in your characters, and then I have to actually, put them into the entrance. Paste. All right, so you are not there. You are at the stairwell over here. How do you approach this top floor? Do you come in banging down the door, weapons barred? Are you sneaking up? Are you going to announce yourselves? What do you do?
I recommend sneaking.
Yeah, I'd like to use stealth.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll ask you for a stealth check later. You'll be able to use stealth for your initiative.
Okay.
If we end up in initiative, who knows? So go ahead and give me a perception roll just to see what you notice.
Okay. What's my perception? 12.
So that's a 13, but then a plus a 9. So.
Oh!
22. What did Todd get? 13
was
goodness.
a natural 1. I poked myself in the eye.
Todd, you found the door. Steve, you noticed that as you reach the top of the stairs, you can hear guttural moaning and growling, like, and you hear squawking around the top. And you realize you're at the open area, that open area to the sky. There's just enough of a cover to not ruin everything when there's rain, but you can see those regular sized ospreys floating around, and then you hear much larger sounding squawking from the inside, and you hear the booming voice of who you can only presume to be Fostur the Giant. No, I already understand the time evolution of the wave function. Teach me the real physics. The physics that the other stone giants know and that I don't.
Yeah, well, good luck trying to guess what that is.
Can't be like rock hurling or anything, since classical mechanics.
I don't know.
It didn't work for him. So
gravity. All right, so I don't know. I guess so. There's 2 more physicists in here right now. What is it that we can actually see? Because it looks like we're behind a wall, maybe.
Yeah. So technically, you can't see into that inner space yet. The players can, but your characters have not seen it yet. You can kind of gauge from the voices how many people are in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6,
Well,
yeah.
so,
Okay. Yeah. I've got something.
So can I go ahead and move to try to get a good vantage point? But
sure.
Try to.
I'll ask you for another stealth check, but sure.
Okay, so I want to kind of move just to the edge there.
Okay.
And then
let's get a stealth check from you, if you please.
Okay, so I've got plus 11 on stealth. Ooh, so that's 19 total.
19 total. Okay, so the way a roll like that works is you are rolling because the way you behave is kind of random. There's other stuff that's not underneath your control. This is determine how well you do. I'm comparing that against the stone giant's perception DC, because that's kind of a constant. He's always kind of on the lookout for something. You're trying to avoid him, so you are the roller, and he is the one who is setting the DC. Right. The way you get a DC is you just take the skill and add 10. So it's like he's rolling, but he's automatically getting a 10 on the die. Not too great, but not too bad. He has a perception modifier of 14. which makes his perception DC a 24.
Okay.
And so you are coming up here, but there's all this clutter, there's all this lab equipment stuff. You manage to knock over a diffraction apparatus, and he kind of stomp, starts to poke his head around the corner. Go away! I'm not done learning physics yet.
What physics are you trying to learn?
I'm trying to learn the physics that all the other stone giants know, and I don't.
Okay, so what is it that the other giants do that leads you to believe they know physics you don't? Like, what is it that they can do that you can't?
Steve, make a diplomacy roll, please.
Oh, diplomacy. Okay, yeah, all right.
If you want to be diplomatic about it, choose another one if you want, but I'm going to ask you for a roll here.
Ooh, yeah. Okay, well, so let's back off there for a second. Should we do like a? I could do an intimidation.
You want to intimidate a stone giant? Stone giants, I take it, are pretty big.
He is what's called large. You might notice he takes up 2 by 2 squares. That's because that's how big he is. He takes up 4 squares.
You go for it.
He takes up the size of
Back
4
here.
of you.
I'm staying in the stairwell. If you
The
want to
sizes are exponential. So it goes medium, then large, then huge, then gargantuan, then colossal.
You know, we were sent from a university on a mission. We were commissioned by Dean Ukas, so we've got some clout. So I'm going to take that and try to intimidate the stone giant.
Okay.
Here goes. I roll a 7, but plus 13, so that's a 20 of intimidation. Total of 20.
And what do you say to him to intimidate him?
Okay, so like, you have, against all reason, taken 7 well-meaning physicists from their university, captured them, trapped them. What possibly could you need them for? I don't know, kind of throwing out a blank here. You need to tell us what you know of the other giants, and you need to tell us now.
Okay, so you rolled a 20, is that right?
I did.
So intimidation gets compared against his will DC, and his will DC is a 22.
No.
So I'm going to go ahead and take your 20 into an initiative roll. Todd, you can roll stealth for initiative if you would like, and then I will get a couple other initiative rolls up here as well.
Sure. That's my stealth. 12. So I got a 28.
28. All right, good for you. You're going to need that. All right, we are going to sort our initiative order. And the stone giant actually rolled a 32, so he is going to go first. He's going to stomp up to Astantine. And he is going to attempt to grapple Astantine. The way grapple works, he's going to attempt an athletics check. His athletics modifier is an 18? Athletics of 18, yep. So 1d20 plus 18. Steve, this is going to go against your fortitude DC. We haven't done this yet. So you look at your fortitude save there in the top middle of your of your character sheet. You add 10 to that to make it your DC.
Okay, so I have a fortitude of plus 10, but do I?
So you add 10 to that to get 20.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. So
do I need to roll, or?
You do not need to roll. It's
Okay.
like you're always rolling 10 on that when it's your
Okay.
DC. So when you're passive, you just add 10 to the modifier. He got a 23 unfortunately.
Okay, so I'm just at 20, and he rolls a 20.
So he grabs you and picks you up. You are now restrained. Let me get for you the information about restraint. It's not terrible. You can attempt to escape on your turn, but it does hamper you a little bit. So I'm going to get restrained up. Restrained, you're tied up and can barely move. Not tied up literally, but you are entrapped by his grip here. You have the flat-footed condition, meaning you take a -2 to your AC. And you are immobilized, meaning you can't move of your own free will. You can't use any actions with the attack or manipulate traits, except to attempt to escape. Right, so we'll talk. You can click on the link there to find out how to escape. Escape is a hyperlink on the thing I just sent in the chat. I suppose I could put it on Roll20 as well, if that's where you're looking. Yeah, so you are now restrained. And he says, "Can Chili Man teach me the real physics that all the other stone giants know and that I don't know? Because I can't go back to them until I really know the real physics that they know and I don't." And we come to Todd.
All right. So do I have the feat devise stratagem?
Devise a stratagem, you do, yes.
Because I've got shared stratagem and known weaknesses, but I don't see
devise a stratagem is just a thing you automatically get as an investigator.
Okay.
So it is, you assess a foe's weakness in combat. You choose a creature you can see and roll a d20. If you strike the creature later this round, you have to use the result of the roll you made for devise a stratagem. So you basically get to roll and then decide if you want to use that roll or use it for something or go do something else.
So just a regular 1d20, no
yes.
No addition. Okay.
Well, you're not adding anything yet because you might add it if you make a strike with it. So this is just to get your die roll first.
Okay. So
it's basically you're doing the Sherlock Holmes thing where he can tell how the fight is going to go, and you know this fight is not going to go well with your 3.
No.
And so you decide, I'm going to do something else.
All right. So what do the stone giants do that you can't do?
They know more physics than I do. I have to know as much as they know, or else I can't go back to them.
How do you know they know more?
Rod, this giant's thick.
well, because they just know more than I do. Everybody knows more than I do. I'm not a real physicist.
If we give you a PhD, would you go away?
I wouldn't deserve it.
None of us do. At least that's what it feels like.
A giant with imposter syndrome.
Sure,
Steve,
why not?
You get a hero point. You have figured out the giant's problem.
Oh, imposter syndrome?
The giant appears to have imposter syndrome.
All right. Okay. Okay. So
I told you, if it's something I understand, it isn't real physics because physics is something I don't understand.
How do you know the other giants understand it?
They sound so smart.
Do they talk about Lagrangian mechanics?
Well, they talk about a lot of things.
Let's see. Can I...
You have devised a stratagem for 1 action, so you've got 2 more actions you can do something with.
Can I... Oh, boy. Can I use some sort of psychology on him to try to boost his ego?
We can call that a diplomacy check. What kind of skill feats do you have? I don't remember. I should be looking at your character sheet.
Skill feats, specialty crafting, quiet allies, and eyes for numbers.
Oh, nope. You don't have anything psychological there, do you?
No.
Creating the skillful lessons.
Hmm.
I have dubious knowledge. Does psychology count as dubious knowledge?
Yeah, dubious knowledge is fun because you roll a recall knowledge, and if you fail, I give you one piece of true information and one piece of false information. I think that's what you got for one of your skillful lessons. It looks like. What does known weakness do? I don't remember what that does. Known
I think it builds on
weakness.
the devised stratagem.
Yeah. Whenever you devise a stratagem, you can also attempt to recall knowledge as part of that action. So so you can attempt to recall knowledge about stone giants for free.
Okay.
So you can roll society. If you want to know more about imposter syndrome, you can roll physics lore, or whatever you think would be useful for you to recall knowledge about.
Yeah, I want to go with society. Because I've got a plus 13 there, and
Okay. I have a DC in front of me.
okay, 1d20 plus 13. 25.
25, yeah. So you know that stone giants, giants are not known for being extremely advanced thinkers, but stone giants, they're a little bit craftier than the average giant, although they tend to excel more in wisdom than intelligence, meaning they have a better sense of how people are going to act, or how to figure out the right thing to do, rather than recalling a lot of factual information. They're kind of average in terms of their factual knowledge. You know that they can make big swings with their club to hurt you and push you back. That seems to be their main physical thing. And yeah, so thinking about this local tribe of stone giants, you know they don't have any real specialized physics knowledge. Like it sounds exactly like what Ascentine suggested, that this giant just is convinced that he's an imposter stone giant and that everybody knows more physics than he does.
So do the other stone giants, do they tell you they know a lot of physics?
Well, no.
You know, I've heard that the better you get at something, the more you realize you know very little about it. Did it ever occur to you that maybe the fact that you aren't getting this stuff means that you're really good at it?
He kind of hooks Ascentine into his elbow so he can pull out a chalkboard and start writing things down. Explain more, he says.
Well, you know, when you're a freshman and you learn physics, you think you know everything. And then, you know, when you're a senior in physics, you know everything there is about physics. But it's only once you get into grad school that you realize, yeah, you really don't know anything. And by the time you get a PhD, you realize just how dumb you really are compared to everybody else. So
I'm going to feel dumber for the rest of my life?
No. So can I?
Yeah, you
step in. Help me here.
I'm squeezed. I'm like, no. So it's like, the more you know about something, sometimes the more difficult it is to answer a simple question. Like, if I drop a ball, or if you drop me right now, or let go of me, what will happen to me?
Well, but you're an extended object. You're not a point particle. You've got all these appendages and different moments of inertia. I suppose I suppose experimentation is the only way to find out.
Wait, no.
My center of mass. What will happen?
Starts to move to the edge of the tower. Wait, so you say that the more I learn, the more I know I need to learn?
Yep, afraid so.
Are you making this up, or is this empirically verified?
No, so if you let go of me, I'll fall, right?
Yes.
So why do I fall?
Well, you fall due to the distortion of space-time caused by the immense mass of the planet underneath us.
Okay, so why does that happen?
Well, it happened because that's what mass do to the nature of space-time.
So
you simply accelerate down the curvature of the look, it's like if you had a giant it's like if you had a giant mammoth skin, and you stretch it out, and you place a rock inside mammoth skin. The mammoth skin going to go down. Look, I have mammoth skin over here. I show you.
So at this point, I'm going to scratch my head and I'm going to kind of say in a, kind of like putting off, like I'm trying to whisper something, but I'm going to say it loud enough so this giant can hear. And I'm going to say, Aharad, I hadn't even thought of that before. Like,
That's a pretty good demonstration. Wow.
Like,
that's
I had
good
no
insight.
idea you could describe it
It's
that
simple. Look, I show you, and he'll take you and ball you up, and roll you around on the giant mammoth sheet. And you'll go around in your conservation of angular momentum around, and he'll say, you see, you don't actually fall into the rock because you're going fast enough to go around it. So you're always falling in, but you don't actually fall in.
I see. So, yeah, that's helpful. I'm learning.
Oh, but you want to learn more? I show you more, and the animals in the room start to squawk, and he snarls at them in giant, and they kind of scurry away.
These two physicists are kind of
spoiling
the mood. Could we maybe send them away, and you could teach us some physics?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, they know too much. Okay, you go home now. You go. I look at me. I am the professor now. And they'll go, thank you. And they'll scurry off down the stairs.
All right, so
we just got to get ourselves out of here.
we're being educated by a stone giant who is hurling. I'm bundled in a ball, like, so I'm like,
yeah. You're rolling around the mammoth skin. You're rolling around the mammoth skin. He'll grab Ahurat. He'll say, "Okay, I show you a neat thing about pendulum." And it's another giant pendulum. He'll take it and he'll pull it up right to your face. He said, "What do you think going to happen when I let this go?"
It's gonna hit me.
Oh, watch. You know how energy don't let him fall? Energy won't let this hit you, and he'll let go, and it starts out. It comes. Boop, it just barely, like the wind barely brushes against your nose, and it goes this way.
How'd you know that?
Oh, well, you see, and he'll give you this whole lecture about conservation of energy, and he'll even use Ahurat as an example. Is that you see how he has spells, and he loses his spells because the energy go out? That's what energy does. That's I set up the energy go do. The energy can no do more than I originally do. That's energy. I thought you from university. How you not know this?
You ever thought about teaching some of the other stone giants this stuff? They might find it interesting.
You suggesting I go teach stone giants?
Stone Giant University.
But they know more than I do.
Oh, they don't. How do you know?
Pull out his chalkboard again. I don't know. So you suggesting I go home and teach my fellow stone giants what I learn here?
Yeah, it's probably bad in the long run for the rest of society, but yeah, go for it.
Actually, stone giants are neutral in their alignment.
Okay.
They can get swayed away by evil giants, but they generally are neutral in their moral alignment.
Okay, good.
Well, that filled me with confidence, little man.
You could at least be a peer tutor, right?
Tutor.
Lead some professional development.
And then, if I tutor, I charge per hour per student. That's not a bad gig. That's not a bad gig at all.
At this point, am I still bundled up, tied to a ball like a sling?
You've kind of fallen in a little bit. You've managed to get yourself off of the giant mammoth skin there. You maybe have to tiptoe around some nearly frictionless wheelie carts, but you managed to get back toward the door.
Okay. So I'm no longer an Astantine sling.
You are no longer an Astantine sling, no.
All right, good.
So what's the stone giant doing?
He's thinking about this. He's drawing up his curriculum for what he's going to teach all the other stone giants. He's actually for the first time looking over everything he learned. He's having to pull out multiple slate boards here just to write down everything he knows. And he's like, I learned a lot this week.
So, I kind of see potential in you, and I don't know if this is the greatest.
No. Potential not in me, potential between me and the earth.
Yes.
Right? Object no have potential.
So
object have kinetic. Object no have potential.
I don't know if this is a good time to mention, but I may have, I thought you were a bad dude, so I may have killed a goblin. Sorry about that.
He a jerk.
Okay, all right.
Actually, I just reduced to 0. I didn't go below 0. I'm fine.
Oh, okay. So he's still floating around. Okay,
I managed to construct a splint for myself. I've been slowly climbing up the stairs.
Okay.
So you may have broken your electric fields too. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see where they cross? They already broken.
Yeah. Yeah, but the double pendulum is still up and running, so there's good in that.
Yes, I take that. I build triple pendulum.
So how can we put you on a pathway to success to enlighten your stone giant colleagues?
Well, I suppose hardest part of educating stone giants is the textbooks. Have you seen those textbook prices? If you could maybe construct large stone tablets with textbook on them, then we can stack those openly in Stone Giant Square. We have this open stacks of giant textbooks. That might work.
Well, you have all these osprey. We could, kind of like a messenger osprey, and then, with a lens. Then you
go osprey. Yes.
Yes.
Good.
So what is with the osprey, by the way?
Oh, he my pet. That George. He my pet. Okay. It is at this point you probably get the sense that the stone giant is not going to be abducting any more physicists.
Oh, good.
He thanks you. He pats each of you on the head, and you decompact your spine from the process. And he promises not to abduct any more physicists, and he will go back to Stone Giant Village and become the physics tutor there.
So he was peaceful before, and I guess it's just after time, this sense of being dealing with imposter just got to a
imposter syndrome will twist your brain around.
All right,
and that will conclude our adventure. Thank you all for participating. Thank you, anybody who is watching this recording. We will call it a night then.
That sounds good. Right. I'm getting screamed at by a 3-year-old that I'm not supposed to be talking to other people. So it may be bedtime for him.
It may be bedtime. It may be bedtime for me. I have lab at 9 o'clock.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Wow.
All right. Well, thank you for setting this up. And
absolutely.
I'm glad
that was fun. To
resolve imposter syndrome within a stone giant. That's not something I've done before. So check that off my list.
Yeah, not everything has to be a fight.
And this is maybe 2021 is turning a corner. So
maybe with this one stone giant.
Yes.
Maybe things will get better.
One stone giant at a time.
Yeah.
One stone giant at a time.